Well, good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of the Northern Berkshire Retirees Club. I, of course, am Paul W. Marino. I'm currently the vice president, and I have with me Roger J. Urban, the former president, and Al Mancuso, the present president.
A present president.
Yes.
President. Yep. Newly elected.
You might say it was a gift.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, we are here to talk up the April 6th meeting of the Northern Berkshire Retirees Club. We meet the first Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. at the Spitzer Center. And we're always looking for new members. We want men, we also want women. If you are of retirement age and you think you'd be interested in joining a club for retirees, please consider joining us. Come to our next meeting, which is Thursday, April 6th.
Oh.
And
It's March 2nd, I do.
no, this is the March show.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you understood that.
I did not. I'm
All
sorry.
right. So, the Thursday, April 6th at 10 a.m. at the Spitzer Center in North Adams. And if you want some information about the club, please give us a call at 413-652-0590. Please don't think that this is a live call-in show. It's not, but that is the number of one of our members who is willing to
Discuss.
yes, willing to discuss the club with you. Not exactly the word I was looking for, but
It
close
works.
enough.
It works.
Disseminate.
Oh,
To disseminate information about the club, which is also what we're here for. So, Al, you're the new president. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
Good luck.
what does being in the club mean to you?
Well, I think I joined maybe 5 years ago. I saw an ad and I joined, and I met a lot of new friends. And I enjoy the get-together that we have every week and the guest speakers we have. Very informative. And it was, I used to go a little early and watch the card play. They used to get there when we were at the Greylock Cup. They used to get there early and play cards, and we have, joke and discuss things. And I enjoyed the socials that we have. We have a picnic at Greylock Club Pavilion. We have, we just recently had our Christmas holiday get-together at the Boston Fish Market. Very good, well-attended. Everybody had a good time. The meal was good, so it was good. And upcoming is our spring fling, which is in the process of being planned, yes. But it's nice. I enjoy the people there and everybody. Especially what I like is a lot of the veterans there that have stories to tell of their service, which is I always fascinated with that. And others who are involved. One we have involved with the railroad and different things, and it's it's a very good get together for retirement. And we talk about the old days, how the city was, and where they're from, and it's really nice, and I'll always look forward to it.
We also try to have a guest speaker whenever possible to talk about subjects of interest to people in North Adams and in the club members.
And in April, we're going to have someone from the Spitzer Center speaking to us.
Wonderful. That's good.
Yeah.
In fact, she came up to me at the last, she came up to someone at the last meeting and said she wanted to address us. And so I sought her out and told her we have an opening in April.
Very good.
Yep.
Easiest speech to arrange I ever had. Not that I've had that many, of course, but
We have had a good bunch of speakers, I think. Usually very informative. They allow for a Q&A afterwards. That's a question and answer.
yeah. Is that what that? I always wondered.
Now you know. But it's a good bunch, and I want to emphasize it's also open to women.
Yeah, come down to the meeting, meet and greet. And
Yeah.
if you like it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too.
And if your husband's a member, try to join. Keep an eye on him.
Absolutely. So, what's new and exciting in our lives that we can bring up at the April meeting?
Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, please.
I just got over an episode with the gout, which was not so hot, but everything's working good now, and looking forward to the next meeting that we're going to have. And,
Oh, gout, that's such an upscale disease to have.
oh, yeah, you don't want that. No.
It's an honor to be on the same mat with you.
Other than that, same old thing.
And how about you, Roger?
Well, my life in the last few months has been crazy. I'll use that word. My better half, Louise, was in the hospital, suffering from the remains of a stroke that she had, and now is at the Spitzer Center.
No,
Not the Spitzer Center.
no, the
Whatever it is.
yeah, North Adams Commons.
North Adams Commons. There we go.
Yeah, they are a nice bunch up there.
Yeah, they seem to be. And I'm sure she'd rather be home, but with the care that she requires at this point in time, that's not feasible with just me being her sole companion at the house. So now I'm the sole companion of myself. And it gets to be a drag, believe me.
Yeah.
It took some getting used to. I'm still not used to being alone. But things happen.
That is true. Pardon me.
You're pardoned. In the meantime, we can talk.
There. That sounds, and I'll just silence the phone, which I should have done before the show. I am sorry. I am a low, miserable worm. Want to go fishing?
I don't hear any arguments.
No, I wouldn't. Although I can tell you one interesting thing that started happening at our last meeting. They started handing out key tags. You put them with your keys, and when you go in to the Spitzer Center, they have a little computer there that you go to and scan your card, and that tells them that you have come in, and then you check off what you're there for. So if you're there for our meeting, they have a record of that, and if you're staying for lunch afterward, you check that off too.
Lunch afterward.
Yeah, they serve a lunch there.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
for-
I think it's every day, isn't it?
I wouldn't know.
Is there a cost for that?
If there is, I'm sure it's very low.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Pat Lescarbo was in charge of that. Well, she works there. I don't know what her duties are there.
Unfortunately, due to my family situation, I haven't been able to make the last meeting. I hope to be at the next one. God willing, and the creeks don't rise, as they say.
And being his chauffeur, I will do my darndest to get him there.
I'm trying to get him a livery uniform for being your chauffeur, but he refuses.
And a town car.
And a town car. Yes.
In the last meeting, we discussed the Hoosick River, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
Yeah, and there are plans for that, but, you know, in back of my mind, I don't know how many of us will be there when all this comes to fruition.
Well, you never know.
We do, that's a good point, though. We do have, or try to have, a speaker at each meeting. Most of the time, we've been lucky enough to have one, but once in a while, things don't mesh, and we end up doing the meeting without a speaker.
Well, of course, that's how this show came about.
True.
Because we were at a meeting, the speaker couldn't come, so I did an impromptu bit about Northern Berkshire Community Television and suggested that we do a monthly show. Do it at the end of the month. It will show all the next month, and it will hype the meeting that's coming up after the month that it shows. And it's, well, dare I say it, it's a good idea, and it's helping us get the word out. And I was saying to Al before the show, I would like to get his wife to come on and be a host, because I think that would be a great incentive for women to start coming to the meetings. We have a couple women who come, Lorraine, and there's a woman from Williamstown, and isn't there one more?
The one that recently joined there?
Yes.
She was in the river presentation?
Oh, yes, she said she'd be joining.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other one, I forget her name.
I think that's another good point about our meetings, is we do usually have a speaker of interest. As a matter of fact, I can't think of the last meeting we didn't have a speaker. So that's been pretty good. And
Yeah.
it's usually interesting items or interesting occupations and what have you relative to the city of North Adams and its environs.
But the river one was very interesting, because most of us remember when it was built. It was built in the 50s, because I can remember I just lived up the street there, and I used to go down and see Patricia Construction Company, you know, doing their thing.
Well, you know, I'm going to be 70 this year, and I have a memory of when it was under construction too, because my father was the manager of Shapiro Chevrolet's shop. And that was then on River Street. The building is still there. It's cinder block with a dark brick front. And it has 2 bays there. And my mother brought me down there to see him one day. And I remember I dropped my teddy bear down the bank, and he had one of the men go and get it.
There you go.
Yeah, before we had a lot of, like the 38 flood, or before my time, but I was told the 38 flood really did a damage in this city.
Oh, yes.
And Adams.
I think it wasn't a remnant of a hurricane, the 38 hurricane that hit.
That
that
I
hit
don't
New England.
remember, but I do have a story from that flood. That was about the time my mother came to North Adams. And you know the little brook that runs down alongside Brooklyn Street?
Yes.
It goes underground, and then it comes out at the foot of the hill on the other side of the street, and it flows into another pipe that goes to the river. Well, before the present pipe was put in, they had one of corrugated steel, and there was nothing protecting the entrance. So a man and his son came down from Brooklyn Street to watch the flood. And they're standing there watching the stream and flood when the sidewalk collapsed under the man, and boom, he's in the water, and in the next second, boom, he's in the pipe. Well, he died.
Oh, okay.
And we can only hope that his death was as fast as it was cruel. Because, of course, he would have been up near the top of the pipe where he was rubbing along the corrugated steel and drowned.
I was living in Adams when they were doing the flood chutes down there. And of course, we lived up on top of Commercial Street, so we're on a hill. We used to go down and watch the construction as much as we could without getting in the way, because they would shoo you out of there real quick. But I do remember them building that, at least the Adams section of it.
Now, that Brooklyn Street brook, is that the one that went through Houghton Street? As you're going up Houghton Street, there's a brook.
Yes.
There was a brook there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's still there.
Yeah, yes.
It comes down from Clarksburg, goes underground up above the street, comes out of a decrepit culvert that's going to have to be replaced soon.
Yes.
And then it goes underground again across from the Gordon, Sutton, and Smith barn.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it stays underground, and then it enters. You can actually walk in there, and then it goes into two iron pipes, and it goes down, comes under under Houghton Street, comes out, is above the ground for maybe 25, 30 feet, and then goes underground again.
And that culvert on Houghton Street was in bad shape way back when I remembered it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because my grandfather lived on Houghton Street.
Actually, the flood control was quite a blessing for the area, though. Because
Absolutely.
when they had the torrential rains and the snow melt and everything else, things got to be pretty dicey at times. So.
Well, they're getting dicey again because the chutes were built with a 50-year lifespan. And it's been more than 60 years since I remember that section on River Street being built. Some sections have fallen, and that is some of the cement slabs have fallen. And what they discovered on Willow Dell was that they were built without sufficient rebar in them. Now, rebar is an L-shaped piece of metal, and the arm of the L goes up into the slab, and this part goes into the concrete base. But there's also supposed to be another L with its leg going into the bank behind. And these slabs on Willow Dell only had the ones on the front. And once they rusted out...
Yep.
A lot was learned
Yeah.
and being learned.
Yeah. And then they have where the trucks could go in was on Union Street somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Which reminds me, there used to be in North Adams, there used to be a fire station, a substation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but there was where the
I
mills
don't remember it, but I know where it was.
where you're coming off Route 2. It
Yeah.
would be, if you're coming off, it'd be on the right side.
Yeah.
There was I think they had one engine or something. It wasn't very big, but they had a substation, which I believe was supposed to take care of Mohawk Trail section in North Adams, in that area there. And they get away with that.
Well, actually, the flood control was a tremendous...
Flood protection. There's no...
Excuse me?
Well, the thing is, there is no such thing as flood control
In North Adams.
anywhere.
Yeah, there is.
No, there is not. There is flood protection.
I didn't say North Adams.
I understand that.
Keep going.
Well,
Keep digging.
no, I just want to make that clear. There's no such thing as flood control. There is flood protection.
In North Adams.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Where did you have in mind where floods can be controlled?
A lot of places.
Such as?
Italy.
So how do they control the floods?
Same way we do.
And what way is that?
They build a barrier to the flooding.
Oh, like a dam?
Well, sometimes it's a dam, sometimes it's just a wall. But they do have various devices that they use to control the water in and out. So, I mean, it's, you know.
Well, that's true, but again, it's not flood prevention. It's protecting from
I never
floods.
said prevention, I said control. You kind of forget.
Except,
Yeah, is what I say too. Oh.
except in Venice. If you ever been
Yeah.
in Venice.
I have.
Yeah, and I know when I was there, they bring out walkways on, you know, like platforms and you're walking, and you see these tourists, they are splashing around, and one of our guides said, "That's the most polluted water in the world. Don't go jumping in that.
Exactly.
You know, just don't go do it."
They're open sewers, is what they are in Venice.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you have a guide there, because another thing was you'll see these paintings of Venice, you know, and the artist will do this, and then she says they're made in Japan or China, and they charge big bucks for them, and you know, you got to watch that stuff.
Well, you know, they did have a flood in Venice some years ago where the water actually rose a good deal higher than they like it. And I remember seeing photographs of men sitting at a table in hip waders drinking wine, and a couple of young women in an upscale store sitting on the counter because the floor was flooded.
Yeah, it's quite a place, Venice. If you ever haven't been, go.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. I enjoyed it immensely.
Actually, if you get a chance to go to Italy, take it, because there are so many wonderful things to see. Not
Yeah.
only the antiquities, but even the modern sections.
Yeah, the Colosseum, I went through that.
Yeah.
That's amazing what they did. They even had a place where they could flood it.
Yep.
And,
Oh, yes.
And have naval battles.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't know how they, you know, they don't even today, they don't know how they really worked it.
Fabulous engineers, the Romans.
Yeah.
For their time, it's amazing what
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, so they even perfected brain surgery
Yeah.
in that day. And of course, you know, I guess all that stuff was lost during when they were invaded, and people just, you know, destroyed all that. It doesn't mean anything to me. Destroy away.
It's a beautiful city to visit. Wouldn't want to live there, but it's a beautiful city to visit.
Well, it's same like I was. I mean, I went when I got into Boston. You know, I told the guy that was checking us in. I said, "Oh, it's beautiful and everything, but I'm glad to be back in the good old U.S. of A."
Yeah.
It's a different culture too, different way they look at things.
It is odoriferous. The sewers from homes dump directly into the canals.
Oh, how nice.
Oh, yes. So that the gondoliers try to clean their gondolas as often as possible, because it's parts of it are pretty nasty.
I'm surprised they don't dig some tunnels for sewers.
I don't know with the flooding they have. I
don't think they could.
When I was there, I didn't go on the gondola ride. No, we
No.
just walked around because I don't know, it was like $90 or what, 5-10 minutes. A lot of people on our tour, they went, but you know, we went to, you know, the food. The food is so good there. I mean, it just.
When the Navy came into port, they really put on a show, you know. But sailors, as sailors can be, don't usually visit the high point. Don't usually visit the high points or the historical points. I would say not all sailors, but a lot of them. The closest thing that they came to that was tasting the local wine at the local wine dispensaries. And I was lucky enough at that time to be officer of the deck for one afternoon or one evening in the harbor. And the wine festival was going on, And of course, our sailors went ashore in their whites. Well, when they came back in their purples.
Yeah, and another thing, when I went to Italy, I found that you'll find no Italians in Italy. They're all regional. They're all, because it wasn't a country until about 1860-something. So they identify as regions. Naples, Rome,
Calabria.
Catanzaro.
Yep.
Well, those are mountain goats up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's a little bit that's on the shore. I actually looked it up. I know that my grandparents came from 2 separate villages, but I looked it up, and it's this little skinny strip, kind of on the instep.
My grandparents were both. Well, my grandfather was born in the States. My grandmother was born in Calabria. And when they used to have their little spats, it was all calabrese.
I've heard that the people in the north have very little respect for the people in the south.
Yeah, in fact, when my mother and father got married, they didn't tell my mother's father that my father was Calabrese. When Pat Cooper was here, he tells a story about when he was dating. He brought home a French girl. His mother says, come on in, have something to eat, have something to drink. Okay. Didn't work out, brought her the German girl. Come on in, have something to eat, have something to drink. Okay. He says, finally, an Italian girl. And she comes home, and he says, come on, Italian girl. She says, where are you from? He says, no, we're Nablutan. He said, get out of here, we don't get along.
All right, we are almost out of time. So, Nicole, thank you for directing. Thank you for watching, and we will see you hopefully on April 6th at 10 a.m. at the Spitzer Center.